yourself free, let your spirit fly high. Spread your wings toward the boundless sky. No more whispers holding.
What is your value as a person? Who defines the value that you have? If you don't fail in your life, means that you're not living. Because it doesn't matter who validates you. It's only validating if your beliefs about yourself match with the other person. Hello, Bestie. I know it's been a while since I don't show up here. And because of it, I prepared something special today. Matcha ritual together. It's patience. Why don't we do it together? And then I record and we discuss about a topic. What is your value as a person? Who defines the value that you have? Let me just recap. If this is the first video you are watching, my name is Ayuri.
And you are my best friend if you don't know that.
I like to talk in this channel about creativity, self-development, relationships.
I'm changing the names a lot.
And I think this is part of life. I wouldn't say business, but I would say life, because every stage in our life we develop somehow. And we start to post on internet. This kind of makes you feel more overwhelmed because people are watching other than you being offline. But doesn't change at all, because in the end your life is changing whether your friends are watching or not. Let's start. Before starting the conversation, I will start with matcha because otherwise we will not make it. I will prepare two, one for me and one for you, of course. And I have some milk.
Not vegetable milk, unfortunately.
So if you're vegan, I will make one with milk, one without milk. I don't drink normally with milk, but I made a recipe on the weekend and I have some left, which I need to drink. Okay, the first thing that you need to do with matcha is to, I don't know if you watch it.
I'm learning, so if that's the first time you're doing or watching something, I would not recommend to follow my steps because I'm following someone else.
This is made of bamboo, which is actually, maybe we need to discuss about bamboo next time. Bamboo and success, but not today. First of all, you put some warm water here and let the bamboo inside. So as I said, today's topic is about who defines your value. And you're gonna see that I will look to the tablet because I have some questions to follow our conversation. Otherwise, it's gonna be super messy. This topic appeared yesterday and I think it's super relevant because I think a lot of people struggle with defining your value in life. I will not mention names to preserve the identity of my friend. Yesterday he was really struggling with this kind of validation, you know? So basically yesterday was a holiday in Germany. I think it's international holiday because it's 1st of May. He should publish something and he did not. That's the resume of the story. Because he did not publish, he was so devastated. So devastated. In a way that he almost vomited in front of me. He was really struggling with his emotions. And I told him like,
Okay, why don't you chill a bit? You're super overwhelmed and maybe this is not a good time for you to try to do something because you are over your emotions and everything that you're gonna do might not reflect something that you're supposed to be doing.
and then he said, no, I need to do it. And I said, okay, do it. After he kind of tried to do his thing, I asked him later, why you are so devastated? I mean, of course, it's a mistake. Of course, might have an impact negatively. Of course, this is not something you would like to do. And I told him like, every time you do something in your life, every action you do in your life, this is the only condition to a mistake to be done. Meaning that there is no mistake if there is no action. You know what I mean? There is no death if the person is not alive. So the only precondition of a mistake is an action. Every time you do an action, you are exposed for a mistake. And this is the beauty of life, I would say. Because if you don't have any mistakes in your life, if you don't commit any error, you know what I mean, right? If you don't fail in your life, mean that you're not living at all. I will repeat. If you don't fail in your life, means that you're not living. And this is so impactful because people are so afraid of failing, but then they don't live the life, you know. It's like how absurd it is. And then I asked him like, okay, what is the worst scenario that could happen? Like you commit a mistake, okay, why you are so worried about it? And he told me because he was looking for validation. And I said, yeah, but what else? I mean, if that was really a critical stuff, what could happen? And then he said, I could lose my job. And I said, and so? And he told me, I would suffer to have another job. And I told him, yeah, but in the end, you're gonna have another job if that's what you want. And he said, yes. And I told him like, okay, so why you are so worried about this kind of validation? And he said, because I want people to validate me. Otherwise, I will not be useful. And I told him, you see a problem here? Because it's not about others validating you. Because it doesn't matter who validates you. It's only validating if your beliefs about yourself match with the other person. Imagine that, I mean, I'm Asian. My family is from Japan, even though I'm Brazilian. Imagine that someone says, I hate your blonde hair. Do you think that's gonna hurt me? Maybe half of me, because half of my hair is blonde. No, I'm kidding. No, that's not gonna hurt me because I will say, well, I don't give up F for what you think because in the end I'm not even blonde. So the person is not gonna validate me and therefore will not have an impact on me. Every time someone tells you something that hurts you, it's not because the person is saying something that really makes sense. No, probably the person is just saying something that you believe about yourself, and that's why it hurts. Because if you don't agree with this person will be just the hater and stupid person, which occurs now and then, and that will not affect you. Okay, before I continue, I think it's time to start to make matcha. So basically, I will throw this water and start a new one. I know, honey, imagine that, I mean, you are in my house, okay? And maybe I should not say what I'm doing because you are watching clearly. I just will do. If you have any question, drop in the comment. But I wouldn't tell you to do it because I'm not a pro. Not today, a pro in matcha. I will become, but not today. So if you have any questions, just one thing, do you prefer more intense or less intense? More, right? Because you need energy, honey. You need energy. I will make more for you. And if you don't like, just give me because I drink every day. Okay? But continue. In the end, it doesn't matter who says something for you because it's more about you believing about what the others are saying. And if you think that you don't have any value, honey, this is a red flag and not for others, it's for you actually. Because doesn't matter how much others says about you if everything that they say resonates with you. You know what I mean? Why this is important for you to understand. Once you understand about defining your value, you kind of have a block among what others think about you and how you react about others' thoughts. Because in the end, it's never about others, it's about yourself, how you perceive yourself. And this is a tricky thing, because if you think that you're not worth it, honey, doesn't matter if someone tells you I love you. If you think you're not worth of love, you're gonna suffer. You know what I mean? Because in the end, it's never about the other person. It's always about yourself and how you appreciate yourself, how you work to become someone better. And I faced it so many times this in my life, especially in professional life. Because I'm the person that likes to be the best professional ever. So if I receive a feedback that makes sense, and when I say makes sense, is that resonates with the type of professional that I want to become. So imagine that my boss, you are my boss. So imagine you are my boss and you say, hey Sayuri, you know, I didn't like your the way you solve the data project. You're supposed to have more analysis, you're supposed to have more, I don't know, dashboard, a beautiful dashboard, and so on. I might ask you, okay, but this is reflecting the solution, like there is something really not working with the solution, or it's just because you think I should be better as a data analyst. And you might say, no, the solution works, it's fine, but I think you should be more as a data person. I might say, okay, but that doesn't resonate with the type of professional that I want. Actually, data is not something that I like to work with, even though I know I don't like to work with. And therefore, because you are my boss, I can negotiate that with you. Like, can I continue doing this work and we focus on the type of skills that I want as a professional? Or do you think this is gonna impact the business? Probably it's not gonna impact the business. The feedback is just for your improvement, actually for my improvement. And then you negotiate with the person. What normally happens is, if you don't know what you want in your life, and if you don't know that the value that you have in the business or in a relationship or any kind of a context, if you don't know your value, everything that people is gonna say, it's gonna hurt you. Like, oh, I have some friends that they say, oh my god, I just received a bad feedback, my life, it's gonna destroy it. And I was like, okay, let's give a step back and let's really think about what's going on. Can you tell me without being overwhelmed? Just think about how it should go. And then you're gonna think about really the fact, not with emotions, but with facts. Okay, just sorry, Bestie, but just one cut, because you see, you need patience to do Matcha, because I'm doing while I'm talking. I don't know how much I talked already, but it's clearly not working, because supposed to have fun, it doesn't have any fun. Anyway, I will stop. If you want a better matcha, please buy one yourself, but this one is not working. Clearly it's not working, but I will try again and do another one. So I will do one for me now, or one for you, doesn't matter, it's the same. The best moment for you to understand what defines your value is actually now, because you cannot change the past, but you can change the future. And if you don't understand who defines your value, you're probably gonna suffer every now and then someone tells you something. And the thing is, nobody is telling you something that to hurt you. Nobody. I am the person that really believes that nobody wakes in the morning to F-word someone. What I mean is the word is really trying to make the best. Everyone is really trying to make the best. Even though the best might not be the best for you, but the person is always trying to do the best. So nobody is here to hurt you. Even though that might hurt you, nobody is here to hurt you. And you need to know that. Otherwise, you're gonna suffer, honey. You're gonna suffer. Okay, so the best time to understand your value is now. And every time you think about, oh my god, this person told me something that I didn't like, take a moment. Maybe it's gonna take a day, but take a moment and try to reflect on that. And if you really don't understand, ask the person. Like, hey, you mentioned that yesterday. I need some time to think about it. And I was thinking, and I have some question. Can you explain in more details why you told me that? Do you really think that this is something that I need to improve? And if you really don't care, well, so why do you worry about that if you don't care, you know? Okay, how to define your value? I think that most of the people make a huge mistake on that, because first of all, it's not something that normally people think, at least not my friends. So if you are my bestie, I suppose that you don't think about that as well. But you should think about that, because your value, it's really important for you. Self-improvement, you know. Imagine that you are a product, like a water. Think that you are water. And you are selling over the street for €2. And someone says, okay, I will buy it. But then the same brand, you are selling on the airport as well. But you're not €2 anymore, you are €9. And someone says, oh, it's overpriced, I will not buy water here. That's gonna hurt you. Well, no, because everyone knows that in the airport the water is more expensive. Meaning that it's also about where you are as a person, trying to understand for who you are the water that matters. You know what I mean? If you're a vegan, why do you care so much about the opinion of people who eat meat? It doesn't matter. You are vegan. You should care only for those people who really make sense in your life. And then how you define that, right? First of all, you need to understand who you want to be and who you are, because this is a crucial thing. If you don't know who you are as a person, if you don't know what value you bring to others' life, probably everything that people is gonna tell you, it's gonna hurt you, because you don't have clarity about yourself. So I will make some questions, and feel free to pause the video. I know you are watching 2+, but feel free to pause the video and reflect or take notes, okay? The first question you need to ask yourself is, if I were my best friend, why someone would be my best friend? You know what I mean? So I am my best friend, and I will give an example. So I am my best friend, and I consider Sayuri my best friend because she's really supportive. She never actually tells me that I cannot do anything. She always believes that I am the best person to do what I want. And every time that I have a dream, she's there to support me somehow. She really thinks that I'm the best person to do it. And she really thinks that I'm able to do it. And sometimes I do think that she's like, it's gonna be hard, but she never tells me, you know. She thinks that and when I say she thinks that it's gonna be easy, I'm not saying that she's trying to fake me or to make me fool. But somehow when I share things for her, everything feels so much possible. And I love her energy. I love the way that she thinks that, especially someone that is so afraid, she's she always thinks that it's possible. And this gives me hope. And once I have hope, I have courage. So what I love about her is the way she supports me and she inspires me. And I do think how she treats others, and I do think that this inspires me as well to become a better person. And I love the way she cares about others in a way that doesn't matter what she's doing, she thinks that the person is value in her life. Some more, some others less, but in the end, everyone has a value in her life, so she makes clear to never put someone down, you know. She really believes in the power of people, and that makes her unique. Oh my god, I love myself. No, I'm kidding. You know what I mean? No, I'm not kidding. I love myself, but you know what I mean. You should love yourself as well, because honey, if you don't love yourself, why should someone love you? That's a big question. And I saw so many friends in the interview, they are so afraid of receiving no, which hurts a lot when you apply for a job and someone says that you don't fit the position. Hurts. I know hurts because I cried so many times because of it. But the thing is, if you know that you are really good professional, you know in the end that you're gonna find a job that makes sense for you. You know that. So you should keep going. You should not think that your value is based on one position. No. I had a discussion, really hard discussion with a friend, because I told him that I was asking for not the minimum salary when I moved to Germany, and he said, "Yeah, I think you should ask for the minimum." And I said, "What the fuck? I mean, you are my best friend. How dare you to say that I should request for the minimum if back in my country I was really successful? How dare you to say that I should request less than I deserve it?" And it felt so wrong for me. But I understood that it's not about me, it's about the person. I mean, he thought that to have a job here, you should, as an immigrant, you should request for less than you're actually worth. But it's not like that. I knew it that I can bring so many benefits to the company, so in the end, doesn't matter. I could, as much as I could really prove my value, I deserve more, you know? And it's funny because I didn't got as much as I was requesting, but I really got way more that he thought I should deserve. And well, as you can see, the achieve phone again. But anyway, I'm so tired. I would drink like that. A question here that says, what period you should reflect about your value? I don't think there is a kind of a period, but I would say there is a stage in your life where you self-doubt about yourself. And when this kind of thoughts appear in yourself, like for example, you broke up or you lose your job with a layoff, is not even your decision, but a layoff came and crushed it to you. And if you think that makes you feel question about your self-worth, then it's time for you to reflect about that, you know what I mean? Honey, I forget if you're vegan or not, so this is for you. Oh, imagine there is a lot of fun, okay? And this is for me. I will make with milk because I think it looks nicer, but I will put here. So I would suggest you to do that every now and then, that you feel you're not worth it, because that's gonna help you to understand. Another thing you should do, because I was talking about the question, another thing you should do, besides talking about yourself as your best friend, would be awesome if you can take notes about things that you really appreciate about you. really, like your skills, you know, what kind of things you do. Don't let yourself with negative thoughts in a way that, imagine that you are talking with someone. You should always say good things about yourself. What normally happens is that when you are talking with someone, you put yourself so down that some people I talk to, and I really think like, oh my god, I don't know if I want to continue talking with this person, because it's clearly by what she's saying, she's not worth it. I mean, but I know that this is low self-esteem. That doesn't mean that this person is not worth it. Just means that this person doesn't see how much she's really good. And this is so sad, because I have so many friends that I wish they could see how amazing they are, and they put themselves so down that sometimes I need to say, hey girl, take my hand, because honey, you are on the ground. And this is so sad, because if the person is on the ground, it's because somehow in her life she thought that in the ground it's where she belongs, and this is so sad. I wish everyone to have the power to be able to see yourself with the other perspectives, so then probably your self-esteem would be better, you know. Oh my god, I don't like to drink with milk because I don't think there's a lot of calories, but honey, how pretty is it? Huh? Look at Bestie, it's awesome, right? Okay, continue. I already gave you some examples, which I hope it's clear for you. You're not gonna drink? Please help yourself, okay? If you want honey, if you want, I don't know what else you should put, honey not, right? I don't know, if you want something to make sweetener, you just ask me and I make for you. I think that's all. What else? Do you have questions? Do you have questions? No? I really think that you should love yourself more, and don't you ever dare to let others define the value that you have in your life. Just please, there's a phrase in Portuguese which is super funny. They say, põe top e reage. Or levanta a cabeça senão a coroa cai. And it's so funny. I mean, I am so much funnier in Portuguese, but anyway, I will translate for you. The first phrase says, you should wear a top, like the gym stuff, and react, meaning that put your best clothes and do something with that. And the second one I will translate as, don't look down, otherwise your crown falls. And it's I know that sometimes doesn't make any sense, but when I think about that, it makes so much sense in my mind. Because honey, you are a queen or a king, doesn't matter. If you look down, whatever is in your head is gonna fall. Don't you ever look down for yourself, because you're not down, you know. You're supposed to be at least straight or up. Don't let anyone look down for you. Don't look down for yourself. And if someone at least go closer to these limits, you need to think about, why do you want to be around those people? You know what I mean? If this person is treating you bad, move. Because if you stay close to those people, you're gonna think that you deserve to be on the ground, and honey, you don't deserve. There is no one in the world that deserves. Oopsie, I said the F word, and I should not, because otherwise my video is not gonna go. But anyway, there is nothing in this world that you deserve to be down. Okay, well, thank you for watching. Thank you for drinking with me. And now I will drink too because you're not here. I mean, you are, but well, you know what I mean. Cheers!